Miss Brewer. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Glad you could make it in.
Yes, I'm glad to be back in.
All right, so this is our third session. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we've done over the past couple of weeks, but also looking forward to seeing where we can go from here. All right, so before we get started, I can recap, or I can let you get anything off your chest.
Let's recap.
Recap. Okay. All right. So last time we talked about there was an interview that you had coming up, and you did really good on it.
Yes.
Like you were anxious moving into it, but then as soon as you sat down and you kind of got a couple of questions in, you kind of really got into the groove.
Yes.
All right. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
Now losing our identity, you felt like your anxiety and things like that, your stress level was kind of just making you to where you couldn't really find yourself.
Yeah.
You're starting to get a little bit more anxious rather than just being. All right, so we kind of talked about that a little bit. So since then, can you tell me just anything that's kind of happened since then?
So after that interview, I actually did end up on homecoming court.
Oh, congratulations!
So, yes, it was pretty fun, but it was nerve wracking, but in a good way. So kind of the same thing as before. It was good to get kind of out of my comfort zone now, but more into what used to be my comfort zone. So it was pretty cool.
Getting back into the groove.
Yes. I don't think I've had anything just majorly stressful since, but I kind of tried to plan on changing some things, like how I do things, but I've not really I don't think I've been in a place to like follow through yet.
So before we go into that, what are you planning on trying to implement?
I think that a major part of my like the reasons that I am like having anxiety and like not pushing myself to like get out more is that I just like have no mental energy for it really. So I really want to try to do things that will help me like feel better and be better. Like I would like to wake up at a certain time, and I would like to start eating healthier and feeling better so that I feel like that would help me mentally and physically and help me like have the energy to like try more things or want to do more things.
Right. So what I'm hearing is you're kind of having like a mental exhaustion, and you're kind of thinking that a better routine,
yes,
exercise, eat, diet, and stuff like that.
Yes.
That would be a better help your mental.
I have no routine at the moment.
Okay. And we did talk a little bit about that in our last session as well. So since then we haven't been able to implement that.
No, I'm thinking on like the upcoming breaks would be a good time to start something because I'm kind of starting a new routine. Like over Christmas break, I think would be a good time because I'll be like starting fresh. Like I won't have school and I'll be able to have a new routine with work and I feel like I could get something going before the next semester starts maybe. So that might be a good time to get things organized.
For sure. You use that break to be able to just rejuvenate.
Yes.
And take a break from it all to be able to come back better. Yeah. For sure. So how are things going in school?
In school, things are going pretty good. We're not too far to the end of the semester, so of course things pick up like closer to the end. But I felt like I've got some things under control. Like I was pretty behind in my playwriting class, but then I was able to catch up, so now I'm fine. But that was pretty stressful, but I feel like I've got that under control, so that's like a major stress. Sometimes I get really behind in things and then I really freak out and then I have to get caught up, but I've gotten caught up and everything seems like it's going to be okay, so I think it's going pretty well.
So we're still having trouble procrastinating?
Yes,
but then,
I do think I've gotten a little bit better about because I've been able to catch up on everything, so then I don't feel so behind.
Right.
So it's easier to keep up once I'm caught up, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. For sure. So can you tell me a little bit more about how your work's going?
It's going okay. I've had some kind of issues with a few coworkers. I don't know. It's just it's hard to be around people so much when things aren't going perfectly, I think. I don't know. I think there's been a lot of miscommunication, and I have a lot of anxiety towards like confronting that, which I'm not a non-confrontational person, but I am when it comes to people I have to be around every day. Like, I wouldn't have a problem saying something to like a stranger, but I do have a problem like confronting things with people I'm close to, just because I feel like it's gonna be awkward like once you say something. So I think I've kind of had some issues like dealing with how to bring that up or not bring that up, or like how to manage that.
So can you tell me a little bit more about those issues?
Okay, so particularly I have felt like a certain coworker has been trying to like take over my job. Like, I don't like that. Like, I have my certain area that I do, and it's like I like to do it particular, and I like to do it well. And I feel like this person wants to like take over my job, but not do it as well as I would do it. So I don't understand why like you'd want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just frustrating to me, and I am trying to like balance between being nice and be like, oh, thanks for trying to help, but I really just want to say like, go away, mind your business. Like, this is my business. I don't need you doing that. Especially when you say you're so stressed all the time. Like, obviously everybody's stressed, but it's like I don't understand wanting to take over someone else's responsibilities if you say you're stressed with the responsibilities you already have. So it's kind of a lot there, but
what do you want to unpack a little bit? So tell me a little bit more about like the job that you're able to do. Like what's the strength that you bring to the table?
Okay, so in my job, I like cook everything that we do. So I do like snacks. It's kind of like everything we do is kind of like hospitality-ish. So it's like I deal with the food and the snacks, and I really like put a lot into that because I like people to feel like I'm putting effort into them. Well, I don't like when someone wants to do that job, but they don't put the same effort into it. Like, you're just throwing things out there. I don't like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like I am fully capable of doing my job. So I don't like feeling like people are suggesting otherwise, because I always do my job well. So that's just feels a little hurtful.
Hurtful, yeah, for sure. So you're hurt because you feel like you do a much better job than this person. Mm-hmm. You feel like you put the effort into it, and you're feeling unrecognized in the job that you're capable of doing. Yes. You are the one that brings the strength to the table. Mm-hmm. And I totally understand that is very frustrating. Mm-hmm. Because you are the one that can do the job. Yeah. So you talked about confrontation. Can you tell me a little bit about some confrontations that you've had in the past, like just that have gone well, that you were able to kind of work through?
I'm trying to think about this. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have many confrontations because I try to just be a person that's like very easygoing. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, if I feel something is wrong, I will say something, or if I feel like another person is being hurt by someone's actions, I will say something. But it's really hard to say, like, when it's my own self, I think it's hard for me to stand up for myself. But I know, like, I've always been like outspoken, like all through school and everything, like when it came to other people. So
Right.
I don't know why it's so hard for me to do that for myself, but
So you'll take the bullets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got you. Alright, so we talked a little bit in our opening session. We talked a little bit about what you did for fun. What did you do to relieve your stress? You know, you have your cat. You
Yes.
have your fantasy books.
yes.
To be able to escape, this reality and to get away from this stress. So I guess tell me a little bit before we close. Tell me a little bit about your kind of self-care things that you've kind of been doing for the past couple of months.
Okay, so I've been trying to do some more things like without my phone because I think that helps my mood a lot, and it actually helps me to stop procrastinating because when I'm not staring at my phone, then I'm more aware of the time, so I know like I've got to get started on something. So I think like I've been trying to like do more not electronic, like I've been trying to draw, and I got this little it's like this little picture, and you like kind of put these little bedazzled stones, but it takes a lot of like focus, but you're not focusing on like a screen or something that's going to distract you for too long,
Okay.
or it's not overstimulating. So I like little things like that are de-stressing, and they're kind of an escape, but you're still aware of the time and like where you're at and everything.
Have you been reading any books or watching any TV shows?
I've not really, just for school, I've not really been able to read anything for fun.
For fun.
But I started over Grey's Anatomy. I watched that like 1,000 times, but it's like a comfort show, so I started that over again. I think that's about it. I don't know.
So their stress is not your stress.
No.
Good. Okay. Well, as we kind of recap, we talked a little bit about, trying to find things where we're getting back into fun. Still trying to find that routine that gets us out of that mental exhaustion. Okay, so what I want you to do is, this is a little self-care assessment worksheet.
Okay.
It's going to be your homework for between now and your next session. So it's got different type of self-care, like your physical self-care, your psychological self-care, your emotional self-care, spiritual, and your workplace and professional. So you fill out this sheet and kind of work on some of these aspects, and this is just going to show us kind of where you're struggling, what parts are you struggling at, and stuff like that. So do this before our next session, and we'll kind of talk about that. So if you can just, is there anything else that you want to get off your chest?
I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let you go up front, and we can schedule